What's going on, everybody? It is Larry here for Leoy Systems. The video I wanted to make today, something that I've talked about a couple of times on my channel, didn't get a lot of attention or attraction, but hopefully maybe now we could get a little something. Apologize for the hat, but my head is cold, and as you can see, I'm bald, so it helps. Equipment safety and maintenance. Now, if you're a yoga studio, obviously this doesn't really apply to you. You don't really have that much equipment with moving parts. If you're a CrossFit box, again, this is probably not going to apply too much to you, with the exception of your racks, okay? And a couple of, maybe the bars, but depending on how they're made. This is really for the bigger gyms and personal training studios that use selectorized and plate-loaded equipment. Equipment maintenance is super important. It's not just to make everything look pretty, it's to make everything function appropriately. Equipment maintenance deals with, obviously, cleaning everything so there's no dust and there's debris. A lot of things that have moving parts that slide on rails, hack squats, leg presses, any of the selectorized multi-stations that have the big rods, all of that stuff can collect dust over time. What that does now is that interferes with the lubrication for the weights to move, the sled to move, or the leg press sled to move. When that happens, dirt and dust get inside to the ball bearings of this, and they start grinding away. You start getting nicks into your rails, you start getting the actual ball bearings on the machines start to wear away. And you could hear this in some of the older machines because you hear like a grinding sound or like a clicking sound as it moves. All of that is bad. Ultimately, what's going to happen is it's going to be so much friction that what's holding the sled onto the rail is going to break. The sled's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to hurt anybody, but it's going to break, and it's going to be costly to fix. So that's that. The cable-driven or belt-driven machines, okay? There's a reason why pulleys have to be a certain way, and there's a reason why we need to lubricate our guide rods. Guide rods are the two metal rods that go up in a weight stack. From the bottom of the weight stack all the way up to the top of the frame, those are called guide rods. Those need to be lubricated easily every other week, once a month, depending on where you're located. If there's high humidity, if it's too cold, or if it's too hot in the gym, all these things have a factor because the lubrication dries out. When that's dry, and you can feel this, if you grab the rod and it's like, it just feels dry, you could scratch it and you don't get anything on your fingers other than dust. That's a dry guide rod. What happens is, let's say if I'm pulling 100 pounds on a lat pull down, I'm pulling down, that weight stack's gonna go up. Now, if there's no lubrication, that weight stack is now grinding against those rods. Number one, causing more tension from me, because I'm not lifting 100 pounds now, I'm now lifting like 101, 102, because we have added resistance of its movement, number one. Number two is you're destroying the guide rods themselves. You're stripping away the chrome, and it makes it difficult for the weight stack to move. Third thing is you're putting extra tension on the cable or the belt. Now, these things are rated for tens of thousands of pounds of pressure, right? However, over time, these cables stretch, and they lose that ability to maintain that. So if you're causing a lot of extra stress on the cables and the belts because of a lubrication issue, you're now going to break down. As I'm pulling down, I don't know when this is going to happen. It could happen today, tomorrow, a year from now if nothing is done. I pull down, that cable snaps because it reached its peak. It snaps because of the extra tension that's been on it over the course of the year. That could lead to massive injury for the person exercising and a liability issue for the gym. These are things that have to be considered literally on a weekly basis. A walkthrough, grab a guide rod. Yeah, this one's a little dry. This one's, I don't like it, let's just lubricate it. It's a quick fix, little 3-in-1 oil, done. Silicone lubricant spray, done. It'll last a long time, depending on usage, of course. Don't ever use WD-40. WD-40 is a degreaser. Okay? It'll actually attract dust and make your life miserable. Don't ever use WD-40. Use silicone or a 3-in-1 oil, and everything will move perfectly. All right? The pulleys, like I said, have to be the right size. They can't be scratched or chipped inside because they'll strip the cable and the cable will snap. You have other issues now. So always check your cables. Make sure the sheathing is not being broken or worn away. That stuff needs to be changed immediately. And on top of that, if you go to your plate-loaded stuff, your bolts, all your nuts and bolts have to be tight, have to be super tight. I can't sit on a bench and if the bench is starting to wobble, no, that's unsafe for the user, which again now leads to future liability for the gym owner. These are so simple and such like easy things to fix if you do a routine weekly maintenance check. That's it. Pick a day every Monday. We're going to walk through, we're going to check everything. When somebody comes and says, hey, that cable's broke, don't be like, okay, cool, I'll wait to fix it. No, get on it and fix it. Because you're also showing your gym members that you care about their safety. Think about that. Treadmills, ellipticals, all these things have to be cleaned on a regular basis. Dust builds up in these things out. It's disgusting. Treadmills especially, from everybody walking on them, all that dirt sticks to the belt drives it over. Guess what's underneath in front is the motor. That starts gathering dust, starts gathering debris and garbage and whatever. That can overheat. Treadmill shuts down. Now you need a new motor. Worst case scenario, which I've seen only once in my almost 30 years, is it catches fire. So we got to clean everything, soup to nuts, top to bottom. Elevate the treadmills to their highest max incline, vacuum underneath. Get rid of all that dirt and dust. Put them down. The ellipticals are the same way. Those tracks that those run on have to be cleaned. Just stick a vacuum hose in there and clean it all out, because a lot of debris gets stuck in there too. Now the rollers aren't on the tracks appropriately. They're grinding away. Now you need a whole new leg of an elliptical, not the person. Equipment maintenance leads to equipment safety, which leads to 0 incidents inside the facility. I can't stress this enough. I spent multiple years in a company rebuilding gym equipment, tearing it down, stripping it of everything, sanding it, repainting it, and then putting it back together with brand new bolts, brand new pads, brand new everything. That's what we did. So many times I saw frames that were cracked or broken and they tried to sell it. And I was like, not going to happen. This is going to come back and kill us, safety-wise. Someone's going to get hurt. Then I started, rebuilding and repairing everything. But this stuff is out there. It does exist, and I need to get everybody on the same page here. You gotta have equipment maintenance and safety. If you guys have any questions about that, just shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to go over it with you and talk to you about it and mitigate any issues that you may have, and then tell you exactly what you need to do. I don't care. I want everyone to be safe. All right? I'm not gonna sell you anything. That doesn't bother me. I'll even teach your employees how to do it. Maintenance is really simple. It really, really is. And it can be done, depending on the size of your facility, within an hour or two. Maybe, no, that's a lie. That's a big lie. On a big facility, about a week. Every day, you do a little bit here, a little bit there. Let's not talk about spin bikes and all the extra stuff. So going back to what I said in the beginning, the CrossFit gyms, maybe check your bolts on everything. Make sure everything's operating. But other than that, it's like I said, check your cables, make sure they're not frayed. Check your guide rods, make sure they're lubricated. Check your pulleys to make sure they're not scratching your cables. Check your pads, make sure they're not ripped open, because that could harbor bacteria and fungus and doesn't end well for anybody. And then just make sure everything's clean, especially if you charge a maintenance fee. Oh, God. You're charging a maintenance fee and stuff is still broken? Not going to end well. Equipment maintenance equals equipment safety equals happy clients. Alrighty? You guys have yourself a great day. I got to go cook a lot of food. All right.